Well, thank you very much for joining us for the Seeding Digital Skills Program webinar with an agriculture focus. My name is Jason Chang. I'm with the Ontario Chamber of Commerce. I will be acting as your host. Just so everybody knows, this webinar is being recorded and we will share a recording to all those registered later on. And it will also be posted on the Ontario Chamber of Commerce website under the Seeding Skills Program. A little bit about the OCC. We are the indispensable partner of business, Canada's largest and most influential provincial chamber of commerce. We are independent, nonprofit advocacy and member services organization representing 60,000 businesses in Ontario. We convene, mobilize, and empower businesses and the local chamber network for a common purpose, which is to bring inclusive and sustainable prosperity to Ontario's businesses, workers, and communities. We think the Seeding Digital Skills program is part of our member services and programming to help us achieve those goals. While we meet in cyberspace, I want to acknowledge that I am coming to you from the traditional territories coming to you, from the city of Toronto, which is located on the traditional territory of many nations. That includes the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We are covered by Treaty 13 here in Toronto with the Mississaugas of the Credit and the Williams Treaty signed with the multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. As we lead these informative webinars, I do want to acknowledge that Indigenous people continue to face outsized barriers to access to skills training, education, as well as workforce opportunities. Really important on all of us to help break down these barriers because Indigenous participation in Canada's workforce, education, economy is essential for strengthening both Indigenous prosperity and Canadian businesses. Just a quick outline. I'll quickly introduce who is on this webinar today. We'll then jump to a quick overview of the Seeding Digital Skills program, how it runs, how it's structured. We'll turn it over to our friends at Unity Technologies who will talk about the actual training, what digital twins are, the curriculum, and what you'll learn. We'll have some remarks from our industry partners at the Canadian Agricultural Human Resource Council, and then we'll have a Q&A session afterwards. You can, at any time, put questions into the Q&A box. We'll either address it at that time or at the end, depending on the question. So just to introduce everybody, everybody else who's on the call, Joanne Sarre from the Ontario Chamber of Commerce. From Unity, we have Miguel Garcia and Titi Odunsi. And from the Canadian Agricultural Human Resource Council is Rebecca Balsden, who's the Stakeholder Engagement Manager, and Megan Lockhart, who's the Project Manager of the Agri-Talent Program. Now I'll turn it over to Joanne, who will give an overview about the program.
Hi, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon. So we are extremely excited at the OCC to be offering you this fantastic, groundbreaking program that we think will be applicable for so many in agriculture, food and beverage processing to help with all kinds of efficiencies within your business and ultimately your bottom line. So the highlights of the program include this is a 12-week program. It is entirely free. So within those 12 weeks, you will have 3 hours each week of in-person online training with a trainer. You will have the same trainer, the same learning group every week. You will also have access during that time and for 1 year to over 400 online programs or sessions that can be accessed to help grow and expand your knowledge in this area. You will have, we will be running this program. We started in July with our first cohorts. Our last cohorts start in December, but right now we have still some spaces available the morning of August 20th for those who are eager to sign up. Please look into our August 20th date for signups, and we will tell you more about that at the end of the session. So in addition to this free 12-week training, you will also have 1 year access to the Unity platform, and it is their industry license, their highest level license. So you have the broadest access and the most support with this license. and up to $2,000 in employer stipends. So if you send your employee on this program, we can give you up to $2,000 or 50% to cover the training time that they will be spending each week on this program. And upon completion, you will have industry level credentials. And you will learn all kinds of really groundbreaking and useful technology and skills within this program, which Miguel will get into. And just a few highlights of why this program is so important. As I talked to in the beginning, you're reducing waste and downtime. It can help you save energy and resources. Excuse me. Food processors and food growers can help keep their produce fresher during transportation. You can also make simulated fit testing efficiencies during the use of this program that will help you decide whether you want to implement it in real time. You can test it out here first before it's implemented. And there's so many competitive advantages of taking this program, which, as I said, will ultimately affect your bottom line. So in a nutshell, free training and license, which are worth pretty close to $20,000 Canadian in a package, $2,000 in employee stipends, and just groundbreaking training that will help drive your business forward. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Miguel to give you some of the details on how this can all happen.
Thank you very much, Joanne. And I will now share my screen. One moment. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate that introduction, Joanne and team. I'm Miguel Garcia. I'm very happy to be promoting the Seeding Digital Skills program. This is real-time 3D development and innovation to help you make smarter, safer, more sustainable operations using Unity. One of the things I always like to start with is that you're going to hear a lot of different concepts that may be new to you or fairly new. This is all about making better decisions. So at the end of the day, what this program is obviously introducing new tools and methods and technology, but ultimately it's about identifying the ways that all of this can help you to make better, more informed decisions that will lead to things like cost reductions, save you time, allow you to more easily deploy new things in your business, and then also innovate, find better ways of doing things as you meet new challenges. I'm Miguel Garcia. I lead our professional training team here at Unity, and so we're the team that's delivering the program. I'm very happy to be joined by TT as well, who's our program manager overseeing the program as well. So one of the things I like to start with is just imagining a future. So a future where you can use digital twins on farms to simulate how crops are responding to different weather patterns, soil types, irrigation system, pest outbreaks. This is not something that is a concept or theoretical. This is things that are already being deployed in the field. So these are things that people are already doing today, the way that they're using digital twins to be able to get all of this data to help make better decisions when it comes to crop planning. Where you visualize, so if you think about climate scenarios, there's already so much data out there. Over the next 5 to 10 years, you can use this data to help you plan for droughts, for flooding, for temperature shifts. You can build interactive training modules. As you learn what you'd like to do, you can also train others. You can promote what it is that you want to do to build things like climate smart agriculture practices, better water management, soil conservation, and generally better equipping your workforce and future generations to come. Now, specifically about Unity, if you've never heard about us before, if you have, you know that we traditionally started in the gaming space in the early 2000s. Since then, in the last 2 decades, we've come far to move beyond gaming into non-gaming industries. So today, Unity is the world's leading platform for creating real-time 3D content. That means taking physical assets, anything you can think of that is 3D in the world, and putting it in a digital platform where you can visualize that content, you can manipulate it, you can make changes to it, and you can even inject data into it so that you're also able to make those decisions. We run on a range of different platforms. Right now, we're the leader in mobile platforms. So a lot of people are using us on their phone, on their iPads, PCs, consoles, and so on, and also VR. So we do a lot of AR, VR work as well. And in terms of real-time tools for real-time experiences, so Unity's 3D platform is basically providing an extensive ecosystem where industries can bring those interactive and immersive experiences to life. So a lot of this data typically already exists within an organization. What we're allowing these organizations to do is to bring in those models into Unity. So if you think about CAD, a lot of these CAD models already exist. They're brought into Unity, integrated, and it gives us an ability to better visualize those models. It gives us an ability to make them more realistic or also continue to build. So using Unity to continue to build out those models or think of future ways of expanding the models as well. So this is Unity's innovative, proven technology. We've used it across many different industries. Think about construction, manufacturing. If you think about medical, a lot of people are using this to not only build things within Unity, but also to train others and to help them use this technology for their own use cases. Now, the other way to think about it is what was static and flat and linear is also now real-time 3D and interactive. So if we go back to what I said initially, what you might already have within your organizations is now, when injected into Unity, becomes a space that you can actually explore. So if you ever want to do a walkthrough for your customers, if you ever want to do an audit, rather than giving someone a spreadsheet or rather than giving someone that's just 2D on a screen, you give them now in a 3D environment where they can actually get a really good realistic perspective of your operations. So they can essentially zoom in, zoom out. They can choose to walk to different parts of that model. They can even click on things and learn about your operations through that 3D model. So essentially, it's like they're going on a virtual tour and you're giving them all of that information at their fingertips. It's also, as I said, a great way to audit. If anyone ever wants to audit your operations, it's a great way to monitor things as well. So whether you're monitoring things like power, if you're monitoring security, so security feed that's coming through your operations, any type of sensors, all of that data can also be injected into the model so that you can more easily monitor that as well. Now, why specifically Unity for industry? Unity makes it easier to distribute your models. So one of the great things about this program is that we're essentially helping you go from zero to hero, which basically means giving you all of the tools you need to actually build your first prototype. And this is a presentation that we want to be able to equip you, whether it's something that you want to continue to build after the program, or if you'd like to do a presentation, perhaps there's someone in your business, whether it's at your employees or your boss or your customers, if there's anything that you want to present after the sessions, we want to help you get to a point where you have a prototype that you can present. And it's very easy to distribute this as well by using Unity. So essentially, you could give anyone a link. They'd be able to go on a browser, they'd be able to open that link, and they'd be able to see your prototype, explore your prototype, and also manipulate it. So this is completely optional. It's up to everybody if they like to do this, but we also provide you our own models. So whether you decide to bring any data or any of your own content, doesn't matter. We also provide you our own content that you can learn through. The other thing is about unlocking that siloed data. So if you do already have data today, whether that's CAD packages, um, you have data coming in from different sensors across your business, we can actually show you how to bring that data into Unity, and then also how to get those real-time insights. So how do you build interactive applications that are responsive? So basically giving you those inputs and insights, showing you how some of this data can be brought into Unity, displayed, and then also how you can take that to decide whether you want to make changes to your operations, whether you want to continue to collect that data to then make informed decisions on any change before investing any time and money, whether you actually want to make those changes. You can also run simulations. So if we think about agriculture operations, being able to get historical data that will then help to make those decisions on any changes that you want to do, whether it's when you plant things, whether it's how much water you should use, when do you want to make those investments, whether it's from one season to the next, you need to make changes this year. You can't just rely on what you did last year because we're looking at weather patterns, we're looking at forecasts, and things are looking different this year. So you can actually get that data and you can inject that into your digital twin and help to make informed decisions based on that. So we did talk about a little bit over the curriculum, but just to give a quick high-level review again, we know the target audience, it's you, but the goal here really is, again, to make those better decisions. Each session is about 3 hours. These sessions do include a central question or theme, so they're highly interactive. We include plenty of real-world examples. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that this aligns with what you have seen out in the field, but also things that you want to bring into the session. Very hands-on, very activity-driven. However, the value of the program is also discussion and reflection. So it gives you an opportunity to bring in your own ideas, to ask your questions. A big value, a point of this program is actually having the time to learn from you so that we can also better tailor the experience. Another advantage is there is plenty of self-paced learning. So we realize that people come from all different backgrounds and experience levels. So whether you're ready to do everything during a session or you feel that you need more time to learn things, we also build this as a very flexible program to allow you access to all of our online courses. So this is over 400 hours of content, project files that we'll share with you. It's basically all the resources that you need to help you prepare for sessions, to help you regardless of how complete you've gone to into the session. If you feel like there needs to be some reinforcement, if you need to hear some of the topics again, we do offer a lot of flexibility with our online courses and an opportunity as well to ask questions to our trainers if you do need that additional support after the sessions. In terms of digital twins, there is what we call these different levels of digital twins. So many organizations that are quite mature have been doing this for many years. It is a process. It's not just from day one to the next, you have everything you want in a digital twin. This program is trying to get you to level one, to really set the foundation for creating your first digital twin or using one of our own examples to understand how to do that within Unity and building a foundation that then leads you to additional levels. So what we mean by that is just level one is actually bringing in and creating that digital model of something that you've taken from the physical world. So bringing it in, making sure you like how it looks, you're able to travel around it, you're able to manipulate it. Eventually, you start to get to level two where you start to integrate more real-time data. So we'll have sessions to show you how to do that, also give you the option to do that within your own operations. So this is more about bringing that data into your models. And then as you get that data, you then move to level three, which is actually predictive. So I can now take that data and make predictions based on what I'm hearing. So predicting outcomes, predicting potential problems that could happen. Then you start to become prescriptive. This now starts to get into simulations. So running thousands, millions of simulations to help you look at potential future scenarios. This is where now the model, the system, actually starts to get smart. It starts to be able to make decisions based on things that you've told it before, based on things that have proved to be useful outcomes. It starts to learn and become more prescriptive. And eventually, level five is autonomous. This is where we start to look at AI topics. So, how does AI take what is in the system and starts to learn so much that you have eventually something that is autonomous and can make decisions based on everything that you've trained it on. So we'll be talking about all of these topics, but this program is getting you to build the foundations and eventually giving you that access to the industry license that Joanne was mentioning, so that you have that year of access to our latest and greatest Unity tools to continue to build even after the training program, which is a big advantage of this. And this is just to give you kind of an example of different ways that these different levels are come out in the real world. So if we look at virtual twins, there's plenty of examples there on assets, ingestion pipelines, reference applications. So if you think of somebody that wants to give a tour, they bring in, architecture, construction, manufacturing. They can take any scene, they can take any model, bring it, give somebody a walkthrough. You can see it on any device. A connected twin would be a ship. Shipping lanes, you'd be able to see what's on the ship, what it's carrying, when is it projected to arrive, is there any problems, is it encountering rough weather, is there delays? Predictive twin, so looking at windmills, when are they producing the most energy, when are they not as productive, what changes do we need to make there? Prescriptive twin, we start looking at things like foot traffic in airports, and being able to make decisions on what we want to change. And autonomous twins, if you think about self-driving cars, we started to hear even Uber, has self-driving cars in some cities. This is taking all of that traffic data and those cars deciding how they should move through that system of streets based on what the traffic data that it's getting. So a lot of really, really cool use cases there across the different levels. But specifically as we think to this project, I'll share a few examples here, but this is literally things that you find in the program. There's some simple examples, but to show ways that you could use this across different operations. So this is an operation where we're looking at goods that are coming through, and you're able to see the data of what products those are. You're able to make changes according to what data you're receiving in your operations. You're able to see how things might move from point A to point B. So that's a nice one to see. And then as we move forward, this is also an example of a vehicle truck that is arriving to a factory. Excuse me there. So again, you see a truck simulation arrives to the factory, is picking up items from the factory. It shows you it's on the route. What is it going to be picking up? It shows its arrival time. So you can see a simulation of this happening. You see what products are being loaded into the truck. So you can see all of that information basically happening in real time. This is something that businesses are already doing. And so when they run that, they're able to ensure that things are running as expected. So here you see that now the data is coming in. It shows the shipping date, the destination, what's on board, what's the route, and the total weight. And so again, you can turn this into any simulation, any operations that are moving across your business, and being able to get that into Unity. So you're able to monitor that as well. As we look at some of our agriculture examples here, so this is a farm operation, and in this farm operation, we have examples of things like alarms. So if you think of security data, you can have alarms, you can have camera systems, you can have that data feeding into the digital twin. You can have data on animals as well. So if you have sensors on your animals, if you have sensors around where you keep livestock, there is a lot of operations that are currently using digital twins to tell them when livestock are maybe in places they shouldn't be, or livestock seem not to be doing well. They're not moving for a certain period of time. So there's sensors that will alert you and let you know there's might be something wrong with livestock here, or generally they're moving in an area where they shouldn't be, or someone is accessing someone is trespassing, and you get that data into your digital twin. Also things like crops. So again, looking at things like crop harvest dates, all of these simulations, there's farms that are looking at this data of how well crops are performing. And they take all of those different factors and they make decisions on, again, best optimal planting times, optimal water, optimal soil types, and when best to harvest as well. And that's all this historical data that's flowing in. Now, these are just illustrative examples. Your examples may look completely different. You might choose to do something that's more realistic. You might choose to do something that's 2D and you just need to navigate from the top. So again, these are just to give you an illustration of what's possible. And it's very easy. You can create these scenes. So these are scenes that will give you access to. And this is how you'll learn to use Unity. So one of the beauties of the program is that we'll give you access to the assets, the scenes, the models that you see, and you'll be able to learn how to navigate in the 3D space, how to use Unity's tools to build these models, to make changes to them. And then as you learn, we'll show you how to bring in your own data, your own model. So if there's something that you want to create, we'll start to give you the training that you need to create something from your own business, whether you choose something very small, specific asset that you want to bring into Unity from your operations, or you want to build something like this, we'll give you the training needed to be able to do that. And this is what I was talking about in terms of security cameras. So we'll also give you basically a model that simulates camera operations, security operations. So it shows you ways that you could inject this into your own operations or business to feed that security data into Unity and to then showcase it in a 3D model within Unity as well. So this gives you kind of an example of how to bring in the data, how to use it, and then and then the training needed to be able to build that as well. And just finishing here in terms of more inspiration. So we talked about Unity, how it can be a powerful tool to create these digital twins in agriculture, whether we're talking about irrigation systems or planting types or crop rotations. These are things that are real. There's operations, people that are already doing this. They're already making decisions based on this. The data is there. Now it's basically about consolidation. How do we bring this together? But it's also thinking about small, right? So some of this might seem very impressive, and you're thinking, well, oh my gosh, this is a lot of investment. But remember, this is also about, well, what is that one use case or one thing about your business that we could focus on and bring that into Unity and start to learn how to use that so that you might have a very particular use case. And whether you consider it to be small or big doesn't matter. Maybe that's a great starting point for you. So things like a greenhouse, we've had people that are bringing all that data in terms of greenhouses into Unity. And also remembering that digital twins is not just for planning. They're really powerful tools for training as well. So it's a great way to promote your business, promote your operations. Once you build a digital twin, you build these models and scenes, you can all share them with the world. Basically, you can make it very easy to promote your business and your operations to others, regardless of what use case. If you're trying to sell something, if you're just trying to share information with someone, it makes it very easy to share these digital twins afterwards as well. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Miguel. We have some questions, but we'll wait till the Q&A to get to them. And if you do have questions, please put them into the Q&A box. I'll try to get to as many of them as we can. But next, I want to turn our attentions to our fabulous industry partners on this project. Today, we have the Canadian Agricultural Human Resource Council, Rebecca and Megan, who will tell us a little bit about who they are and why they're excited about partnering us with this project.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jason. I'll jump in really quickly because I see some questions there, so I really don't want to take a lot of time. Just briefly, for those that don't know who CAHRC is, or the Canadian Agriculture Human Resource Council, we are a national nonprofit organization very focused on addressing the human resource issues that are facing agriculture, whether that's farmers, ranchers, or agribusinesses. We're here to ensure that everything we do is industry-led. We are also the Center for Research on Agriculture LMI and an access point for those customized solutions like training programs and micro-credentials related to HR management and training. Next slide, please. So quickly, just who I am. My name is Rebecca Balston. I'm the Stakeholder Engagement Manager here at CAHRC. I also work in the National Women in Agriculture initiative that we do. Briefly, I work with all stakeholders, definitely trying to promote everything that we're doing here at CAHRC. But I also know firsthand what that looks like because I'm also a dairy farmer in Western Quebec, already seeing how digital twinning is affecting my business and how it can certainly be a tool for the future. Currently, I would say that digital twinning is kind of a buzzword right now. We're hearing a lot more about it. So it's great that we've partnered in on this project, making sure that farmers and agribusinesses across Ontario specifically are fueled with this new knowledge, and this training is just, it's great for us to partner in on. But definitely take the first step and register today. I'll hand it over to Megan to give her 2 cents.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Lockhart. I'm the project manager for CAHRC's Agri-Talent program. Through Agri-Talent, we support the development of connections and networks among post-secondary students, post-secondary institutions, and agriculture employers to contribute towards preparing a job-ready workforce. I'm super excited to be working on this project with OCC and Unity. I truly think that Seeding Digital Skills is a great program for agriculture employers because it really does benefit them with access to digital training, which is tailored to the evolving needs of the agriculture industry. In addition, Seeding Digital Skills prepares the next generation of digitally skilled talent to drive innovation in the sector. So again, we're really excited to be a part of this opportunity and to help support the development of a future-ready workforce. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Rebecca and Megan. I'm going to get to the Q&A right now. A question to start for Joanne programmatically. Do you need to be working in order to join the program? What about students?
Oops. Sorry, the program is specifically for those who are employed in the ag and food industries right now. So it is for employers to be able to sign up their employees that they want to have take this program. So at the moment, yes, it is for those currently employed.
Miguel, how much knowledge does one need to take the program in terms of digital twin knowledge, in terms of computer knowledge, and will a participant be able to get to kind of that level 5 digital twin in this training?
A lot of questions in there. The good news is you can be an absolute newbie. What I would ask is that you come with the right mindset and the right tools, the right hardware. So making sure that you have a good laptop. We do share the specs. So basically the minimum specs that you need in terms of your PC, laptop, whatever you use, because you will be downloading Unity. It is software. The second thing would obviously be good Wi-Fi connection, making sure that you have good connection. Typically, if you can be on a call like this, you're good to go. Your connection should be fine. But we do share that as well, just to make sure you have the tools in place. I say mindset because Unity, like any software that you learn, takes time. So you can come as an absolute beginner, zero knowledge, and the first session starts with that, with that in mind. Is that the first thing we want is to make sure that you can you know what Unity is, you can download Unity. We literally take you through the steps of getting access to the software, making sure that it opens and works and performs as expected. So we go through all of those steps. In terms of digital twins, there is additional training and courses. So if you want to learn, I try to give a whirlwind tour, but there's so much you can cover. We do have online courses that you can take to learn more about digital twins. And then the next part of the question, no, you're not going to get to level 5 during this program. It literally takes organizations that have even a lot of resources to throw at this, many years to accomplish to get to level 5. But the good news is, as part of this program, we want you to get to as far as building a simple prototype by the end of it. So there is a project that we include as a component of completing the program and gaining recognition, is that you can at least build a simple prototype, a presentation that you can then take. And if you think about this in a few ways, one is you might need to, at the end of this program, present back to others to convince them to give further investment, whether it's investment of their time, investment of money, to continue to build this out. We also just give you the tools for you to continue to build the digital twin. So even after the program, you should have sufficient skills to continue to expand that prototype. But we do give you all of those tools. We give you the license to be able to do that. So as you go through this journey, we'll kind of build out the steps so that you understand if you want to go from level 1 to level 2, these are the steps, and then level 2 to level 3 and so on. Typically what you can expect is that within that first year, you should have something that is sufficient enough to start to show some value to your operations. So with the access to the training, the online courses, and access to the license even after the training, you'll be able to build something that where you'll start to be able to make a decision on what you want to focus your digital twin on. There's so many different things that you can do, but you'll be informed enough and you should start to see some value in that first year. And that's what the training program also helps you to identify. What's that use case look like for you?
Sorry, Miguel, if I can just jump in. The learners can also bring those digital twin starters that you're talking about, people building in their program. Those can be very specific to their business, right? These are not just general case scenarios. They can work already on those within the specific to their business within the learning.
Yeah, you're referring to what they bring in, Joanne?
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah. So just to be clear, we made this program flexible enough so that if you do, and this is absolutely completely up to every single individual, you're more than welcome to bring in your own use cases, your own models and data. If you choose to do so, you can choose to build those out as well. This is all confidential, right? Whatever you build does not need to be shared with others. So when you're using Unity, it's not a shared platform. Whatever you're building there is unique and it's private to you. However, if you want support and you want to connect with our team, then that's where you need to choose whether you'd like to get that support and you'd like to share that with us, or if you'd like to keep that private. But yes, absolutely, you can bring your own models. Now, if you choose not to do this, or you're not ready to do something like this, that's absolutely okay. We have a library of different models and assets. Some of them you've seen today that I presented, but we have many more. So whether it's a farm, whether it's crops, whether it's a factory, whether it's vehicles, whatever you can imagine, typically we'd be able to either provide it as part of the training or we can point you in the direction. We also have what's called our asset store. So there's a Unity asset store with millions of different 3D models and scenes. And so there's something that you want inspiration, you want something that is always already packaged and built, and then you like to refine that, there is options to do that as well.
I'm going to try to get to 2 or 3 more questions just in the interest of time. Miguel, you talked about the many different things you can do with Unity. Are some of those things being able to diagnose bottlenecks in a manufacturing process, for example, or in the case of a farm, the optimal time to harvest with changes in climate these days and the issues those cause? Can we set up adaptable scenarios for that?
Yes, absolutely. So what we've done as part of the training program, the data you're seeing, we call it dummy data. So it's made up data that we've produced to be able to teach you and to be able to visualize the simulations. But of course, we can bring in real historical data if we want to. We can even bring your own data. If there's anything you have already collected, we can bring that in. So basically 3 ways. It's either dummy data, it's not real, but it's there. It helps you to visualize it, to be able to see those bottlenecks, to be able to see, a system that's telling you something's getting too hot, or a system that's saying, hey, this is going to need maintenance because we're seeing it slow down. The productivity of this machine is going down. There's a lot of sensors that will tell you that information so that you don't wait for something to break on you and then it's a more costly fix. And so we can either bring that data in or you can share that with us.
In terms of bringing data in from other places, is it possible to integrate Unity with other software, such as software that's powering or you're generating data from agricultural machinery or food and processing equipment? They're running on other software already. Can you bring
Yes.
data in that way?
Yeah, the short answer is yes. And we will tell you the different options for integration. But there is many other platforms out there that we integrate with and that you can use to bring that data into Unity.
Wonderful. And we'll get to one more question for today. This one's for Joanne. How many employees can I sign up for this training?
Well, we say up to 5, and if you are an organization that requires more than that, then we will chat with you about that. And the other thing that I should say in that is that this is not just for big organizations, to smaller organizations, smaller processing plants, this is just as applicable to you. So don't think you have to be a really big organization, a big processor or grower to implement this technology. It's for everyone.
Yeah, and we have our next cohort coming up. Sign up. We are signing people up. It's August 20th is the start date. It's every week for 12 weeks. And we have, based on currently people who are signed up, we have companies who are very small, from 2 or 3 people operations to more medium-sized companies up to 50 or 60 people signed up. So it's a great opportunity. I want to thank everyone for joining us. I want to thank our panelists and those who are on the webinar and all our participants online. If you want to register, you can either scan that QR code or go to the website you see on your screen. There is a sign up now button on the top right-hand corner. Click that, and that will get you started in the registration process. If you want to speak with somebody on our team, you can either email seedingskills@occ.ca and we will get back to you. Or you may also put into the question and answer or the chat box your name and a contact format, whether it's an email address or a phone number. Someone on our team will get back to you later this afternoon. So a few different ways you can contact us, but our August 20th cohorts are filling up. And so if you're interested in getting in on our first opportunity, please sign up now or contact us. But we are also going to be soon registering people in our future cohorts through September, October, and November as well. So with that, I want to thank everybody again for joining us on a webinar, and you will get a recording of this webinar later this week. Thank you very much.